What's up, everyone? Thank you for tapping in. And we're back with our sixth episode. And today we have another guest. He is a black belt and he is the infamous Albert.
Infamous, that's a good one.
I mean, we've talked about you before.
I know,
Yeah.
but I don't know about infamous. That sounds bad. Like there's like a bad streak.
Well, nah, dude, I definitely told everyone how you manhandled me a few times on the mat. So
Yeah,
that's why it's infamous.
Told us about some cross collar choke that you hit him with.
I love cross collar choke.
I actually used it yesterday. Funny story, I used it yesterday. Both of them.
Both of them. The first step and the second, like the cross sleeve, like dragging it across.
Oh no! So I just got deep in the collar from full guard. But we had a student that was in there lollygagging and head in the clouds. So I thought it would be funny to just kind of yank it on him one time.
Yes.
You know, if I would have seen you, I would have gave you the shout.
I mean, that's kind of what you get when you lollygagging in class, I guess. I
don't
know.
Pay attention, especially against the fat dude in the gym. Pay attention.
Well, on that note, you're a black belt. How many years have you been a black belt?
Good question.
Stumped him. Deer in the head.
I'm on 8.
8.
December 2015. 8.
Okay.
Yeah.
We're coming up on a decade. That's a lot of knowledge.
Actually, we're coming up exactly on 8, actually. December, you said December 2015? December 2023.
Do you know the exact date?
No.
Okay.
We're going to ask Carmen.
Yeah.
Get you a cake.
Yo, if it's a certain date, man, you're now my spiritual buddy after that, just so you know.
Maybe in the 5th or 15th. I feel like there's a 5 in there.
Oh, okay. Well, you're not my spiritual buddy. You're still a homie, though. You're still a homie. So we're looking at 8 years. What does being a black belt mean to you?
Now, because it's more of a hobby, it's about knowledge growth, being able to share it with you guys, and kind of it.
Okay.
I'm not looking to, prove myself to really much. Anyone. It's more of like, can I make this technique work for me? Okay. What am I doing wrong with this technique? Let me learn more about it, because I always feel like it's a never-ending, the whole never-ending journey thing.
Yeah. I guess that's kind of where I'm at in my journey too, because I know I want to be a coach, but I know I'm not going to be a competitor. Mm-hmm. So I don't really, my question comes from that space of how did you know? And was it always just, I'm going to kind of be a hobbyist?
For me, it's a mix of life that, I have a full-time job, a career outside of Jiu Jitsu, and how much time I place into my training in comparison to how I see other people that compete more. I'm not talking about the professional competitors out there. I'm just talking about the faces you probably see at some competitions, but they're not like the big names. They just kind of compete.
They're the same guys on the circuit. Yeah. You run into them a couple of times. Okay.
Yeah, those guys, in comparison to them, I train less than they do. And also I know where cardio-wise, where I'm at, where it's like, okay, one of the biggest things to always have at a tournament is good cardio.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Oops.
So it's a mix of things to conclude that if I want to compete for that tournament that month, I should give myself this amount of time, set a schedule for training, build some good habits, nutritionally, stretching, all the things that I don't do.
Give yourself the best opportunity.
Yeah.
Okay.
For it.
I hate that you brought up nutritionally.
The habit burger, does that count?
I guess not.
I did a whole training camp on Fat Burger and I lost weight. I went down a weight class. So you can do it if you do it right.
Nothing wrong with that.
So I actually have a question for you.
Yeah.
So you've made the decision that you're more into teaching and kind of guiding the next group of up and coming competitors and practitioners. Is there a different approach you take to teaching competitors compared to just practitioners.
Yeah. So there's, for the general hobbyist, yeah, it's like get technically better. The same applies also for the competitor. Mm-hmm. Here's this position, here's this sweep, whatever it is. Be technically proficient at it. Okay, now with the competitor, it's a little different. It's let's start to link these up faster. Okay. This is where all those drills come in. With the hobbyist, yeah, they can make mistakes, and the linking between certain techniques may not all be there, but individually by itself, the person understands it. Like, oh, okay, like here's my scissor sweep. Here's my scissor sweep. Versus a competitor, you start going, here's a scissor sweep. Here's where, if they post their hand, if you get the failed scissor sweep, you can threaten an omoplata. You can threaten a triangle. Okay. Start chaining things, and we're going to start drilling through chains. Okay. Things.
So you're using the cardio aspect of drills to kind of drill in other techniques that we may not be learning throughout that week or that month.
Because it's the idea of trying to give that competition experience while having a class at the same time.
Copy. In a controlled environment.
Yeah.
So I'm not going to lie. I've never I think I've figured, but I've never put the thought to it that's what was going on. I've always Armin just likes torturing us. that's just how I've all. But now that I think about it, everything is the swinging arm bar drills. Then we're doing the hip ups into the triangles, and everything is kind of like a fast paced lesson leading up to. Make sure you know this for the tournament.
Yeah.
But we're also going to learn. Okay.
There was an old. You're gonna have to fact check me on this.
Okay.
I feel like this was something I heard from Rickson Gracie. I think he was asked, because he's the father of his son Kron, right?
Yes.
Can Kron be just as good as Rickson, right? Because you transfer that knowledge. And he was saying, I can, again, fact check me. I believe what was said was, I can show him all the techniques that I know, but it's the mindset of how the chaining, how I react. He goes, he and I have different personalities. And so the way he interacts during the situations, different. He knows though, but he knows the technique.
That makes sense. Because him and I react differently. Just in the weird discussions that we had, it's oh, you do this? I do this instead. I like this better. And so
yeah. It's funny too because people don't really think about it like that. I showed you a picture of my brother. Me and him are about the same size. I'm a little taller. He hates my game. He's like everything about it. I hate it. I hate how much you're moving. But I don't like his game because it's I'm just going to smash you. And it's an extremely painful game to deal with. He doesn't like a submission. He'll learn a submission. He'll be like, does it hurt? They'll be like, well, it didn't feel like a choke. He's like, but did it hurt? Yeah. And then as soon as I'm yeah, he's like, bad.
He just puts that in his book.
Yeah, he's like, yeah, but something that's if it doesn't cause physical pain, he's not interested in it. He's crazy.
My old instructor, Hey Diogo, regular class, and you know how towards the end of the class is that sparring session. So me and this other, I think I was a blue belt at the time. Me and this other blue belt were training, whatever, and I catch an ugly ankle lock, and I'm cranking at his shin, his calf.
Yeah.
And he taps. Okay. And the guy says, Albert, that wasn't the ankle lock. I go, oh, what was it? He goes, you're really cranking at my calf. And it hurt a lot. I said, oh, okay. Well, now I know, I'm going to try to fix this. My instructor, comes over. He goes, what are you guys talking about? Oh, and he goes, oh, Albert didn't catch me with that submission. He was really cranking at my calf and it hurt. He goes, but so then did you tap? And the guy goes, yeah, I tapped because it hurt. And he goes, hey, that's it. Albert, good job. Good submission.
I love that energy. That's funny.
Yeah.
That's well, Armin's kind of the same way, but he does make sure he hammers technique, but it's also
Yeah.
I lost the camera. I was gonna say something on that too. Dang it.
You want to keep rolling with those ones?
Yeah, we'll roll for a second and I'll cut this off. It's funny because Armin the other day he hit me with put your knee with the class we went to. He was like, put the knee on the belly. I was like, I know if the knee's on the belly. I was like, I'm just trying to get this gi tail in position to get around DJ's neck because he has a bigger neck than someone like your size.
Yeah.
I was like, I'm trying to figure that out, but it was like one of those moments of like, just check your ego. Shut up. Yes, knee on belly, sir. I got you.
Yeah.
So go ahead.
No, I was just said that's funny because I get it. Like Armin will come up, or like at every school I go to, the professor will come up like, oh, that's not how you're doing it. But I'm well aware that they're doing it that way because they're like, well, you told me to wrap my gi around the cross his body and like up on his neck. It's not going. So they like substitute for like moving back or something like that, and the professor would be like, no.
Like I try to be aware of it. Like there's moments where I'll see someone like in the distance because try to walk around to every pair and make sure like it's happening, and then side of your eye you're like, wait, what are they doing? That wasn't what. But maybe I'm missing context, right? So I walk over and you just kind of wait to see how it pans out, to see if it's that's the case, like body size, injury, something is weird where the technique that we're trying to show just is not functioning well, or they're just in a bad placement and they're figuring it out. But the thing that I'm trying to not do is or asking them to not do is they go, oh yeah, so Albert was showing this, but did you know I can hit you for like a toe hold from here? Let me show you the toe hold.
Nah.
Yeah. I just want to know who's doing this because I'm going to be rude with you. There's not a lot of higher upper ranks that this should be happening with in there.
Yeah, it's true. It happens. It's small percentage. Yeah.
What do you think about lower ranks teaching each other?
It's a mix. That's a mixed bag of things because if you're sharing the information exactly how Armin or the instructor taught it, the issue then becomes, are you showing it exactly how they're showing it? If it is, that's kind of cool, but there's always that doubt, right? Yeah. Because at white belt, the general idea is that like Armin and I try to be aware of, just to make sure that the quality and the instruction is high. If it was white belt to white belt, we say it's kind of like the blind leading the blind. Yeah. But that may not actually be the case, but we want to be on top of it. Okay. Just in case. Yeah. And be like, oh no, that was right. Yeah. That was right. Okay. Keep going.
Personally, for me, it's like I don't really like it, and I'm not a high enough belt to like say anything. But so there's different sides of it. If it's one white belt that's like completely trying to teach something completely off course, off putting, like I don't really like that. It is the blind leading the blind. But there's difference to it when you're trying to learn the move and teaching each other in like conversation. Like I struggled whenever I did this, but whenever I moved my leg, it was easier to. So I think it just really depends on how they're trying to do it. If it comes from like a mutual, like trying to figure it out, I think that's the best way to do it. Yeah. And then asking questions, whether like, because those little intricacies, it helps with like different body types, because not every body type's the same. It's harder to get around my neck, but it's easier. Like, you know what I mean? It's easier for you to hit certain things than me. So I think those small, like, try this, can eventually help people get things.
That's why, like, in a bigger class, at our school, in a bigger class, I try to make sure that, so take, for example, like the north-south choke we were going over. Okay. I do it to you, just so you can feel it. That way, when I walk away and I'm working with other people, if you're not feeling the same pressure or the same choke as like when he's doing it to you, you can say like, no, can you modify it? Because I'm not feeling it. Like,
copy. Like the other day when I think it was Jill We were working with Jill, and she was trying to do north-south choke on me, and I was like, it's not there. Like, I'm not trying to, like, make you work harder. It just really wasn't there, and I want to make sure you have it correctly.
Yep, that was it, yeah.
So before we get too far into the podcast, man, can you let us know about what your origin story is? Like, what got you into jiu-jitsu? What got you hooked?
So, college, I hung out with these 3 dudes that weren't the brightest, but neither was I. And they're big guys. Each one probably at least weighed 220. And they were bouncers at a club. And one evening, I was just asking them, like, oh, what are you guys going to do tonight? Let's go hang out, play video games or something, right? They go, no, we're going to go to the college and grapple. The first thing that kicked in my head when they said we're gonna go grapple, I go,
like MMA?
Yeah, I didn't really like dawn on me. I'm actually picturing the singlets from.
That's actually part of the reason why I didn't do wrestling in high school. So I didn't want to wear a singlet. I didn't want my junk all out there. Like, I was like, yo, what is this?
That's what I was thinking of. I go, so you guys are gonna put on the singlet or something? And he's like, no, man, like just shorts, t-shirt, and we're gonna. I go, wrestle?
Yeah.
Right? He goes, well, it's wrestling, but with submissions. I go, oh, okay. And then that's when they start talking about, like, grappling is like the UFC, where you see Hoist Gracie training. That's what we're gonna do tonight.
Okay.
Then they go, do you want to come? I was like, sure, I'll go. I'll go watch. So I'm going, I'm watching, and thinking, okay, like, you guys are just bears, just going at it, right? Because I'm not understanding the technique. I just see like this clash.
You see bodies just
and moving around. Yeah. Eventually, they're like, hey, Albert, you should let's spar. You and me, let's spar. And I go, no. You're like 235. Like, no. He's like, no, I'll be easy. I go, all right. Just smash, right? I'm getting crushed. And at the end of it, I'm exhausted, but I'm happy. I'm having a good time.
Okay.
Pure survival, right? So after that, I was kind of hooked. I kept asking, like, oh, how often do you guys train? When's the next time I can join in? And so this goes on for like a year, 2 years at the college.
Okay.
So eventually a brown belt comes in and is showing some technique, but it's mostly still me getting crushed.
Yeah.
I still remember my first submission. I don't know if you guys remember your first submission.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Probably a rear naked choke. But...
Mine was a jacked up ankle lock on a guy who was also invited. Brand new, a twig.
You did an ankle lock, like you guys were practicing ankle locks that early?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Because we probably saw it on some VHS tape. Like that's also another way of like how we were like sharing knowledge. Like, oh, here's this tape. Look at this guy.
Okay.
And so yeah, a really messy ankle lock, and the guy tapped. And I remember looking at my buddy. I go, see that? He tapped. I did that. I caused that.
Oh, man.
That's what's great about jiu-jitsu is that it gives you that power, even as a smaller person. Because you said that guy was 230. I don't know if that was the same guy.
Oh no, yeah, this is a different guy. Yeah,
but even so, you have the ability to put someone who's 230 down easily because of jiu-jitsu. Like, for example, on my best day, I'm probably 230 on my best day. And that's when I eat a lot of food and I'm fat. But no, I'm probably sitting at like 210 right now. My point in saying that is you can easily throw me around and trap me and just treat me like crap. And
I wish.
You know?
With the modesty again.
No. With the modesty, I know.
I have too many, like, you don't understand. So I'm hyper competitive. So anyone who's ever caught me, you're on a list. You don't know, but you're on a list. You're on a list that like have you ever seen Game of Thrones when Arya's going to sleep every night? She just repeats her list of people that she's going to get back. Yeah, man.
You're on my list to pass your guard and to sweep you. So that's the game I play with black belts. Is for the most part, I don't even try to submit anyone unless I'm training for a competition. If I'm training for competition, then it's like, okay, then I'll submit you. Outside of that, it's just, let's sweep. Let's see. If you walk into it, then okay, that's your fault. But I don't try to submit anyone.
Got it. That makes sense.
Especially black belts. I'm gonna get my ass kicked.
Nah, so I try to submit black belts just because a big part of my game is baiting submissions to get you to react a certain way. And if I can get it, no one's going to be able to tell me where I went wrong better than a black belt if I get it or if I don't get it. But like, it's the same thing. Like, whenever I roll with a black belt, my goal isn't to beat them. Like, I know I'm not going to beat you in Armin. I know, like, I know there's a gap in not only technique knowledge but just the overall chess game of jiu-jitsu. Yeah. So I know that a lot of times you're baiting me into some stuff that you're like, yeah, keep on coming. And I'm oblivious to it. But I go in with like a purpose. But yesterday was the first time in a while, I was like, I'm gonna just beat up Armin. And it didn't work. It didn't work at all.
Did you think it was gonna work, bro?
No, but I was overconfident. I was feeling myself yesterday. I was overconfident.
When you said I'm gonna beat up Armin, like you charged up, like you say, like I'm not saying I'm throwing technique out. I'm just saying like I'm gonna throw my weight around.
I was gonna use my technique, but Armin came up to roll with me, and he had been beating everyone else up, and I was like, you know what, man, I'm gonna try and show you today. I'm gonna try and cross you off my list, and he just put his name back on the list a second time. So that's really all it is. But now that you teach and now that you're a professor, like, what are some things that people who are trying to get into jiu-jitsu should be looking for in their professors or just in their school, other than like of course like scheduling, but like are there like qualities that you feel that every professor should have?
Yeah. Every school does the normal. Here's the technique. And then followed up with here's either the drill or the sparring session. I feel like the good instructors during the technique time tries to explain like, why does this thing work?
Okay.
But again, you have to be aware of the time you have to teach the technique. So you may not dive into some master class of like every nitty-gritty detail. So you kind of pull back and you kind of give like a high level generalized idea of that concept. Okay. Enough that's clear enough to hit everybody sort of that they understand it. So it's the explanation of the how and why, and an instructor that's then in the sparring, an instructor that's actually walking around looking at every student train and spar. I've been at places where the instructor hangs out onto the side, is just talking to people, hanging out kind of thing.
Yeah.
I've had one instructor who I thought was great. He would walk around and say you two guys were rolling, right? Mm-hmm. And you were in his close guard. He would be yelling at you going, come on, use the technique, get out of the close guard, get out of it. And he would watch you start initiating the technique.
Yeah.
He would quickly switch over to you and say, hey, he's trying to break the close guard. Shut it down. Shut it down.
A master instigator.
Yeah.
So if you're looking for a gym, make sure your professor's a master instigator at the right time.
Yeah. It was funny. Armand was telling me he was trying to instigate me at a tournament one time because he was like, hey, who's those girls talking to your lady up there? And I was like, oh, that's such and such, such and such. He's like, oh, man, I was trying to get you fired up. I was like, oh, yeah, that's not going to work. Me and my lady, we too comfortable. Like, you're going to have to work way harder than that to get me fired up because unless I drop a ball, we good,
Yeah.
Bringing my lady to tournaments is kind of different because she thinks it's weird. Like, she's supportive. She'll listen to me talk about jiu-jitsu all day. But whenever I'm like, what do you think about it? She's like, I think it looks gay.
Yeah.
That's what she says every time. So I'm just kind of like, I'm ridiculed about it at home all the time. So like whenever I'm like sitting around at the gym talking longer, I'm just trying to get it out of my system because I know when she gets home, it's going to be a bunch of hi-ya. And yeah.
That's when you lean into it. Like we were talking about last time, just go home and you say, big boy karate, it was fun tonight.
Yeah.
Big
boy karate was
Did
fun.
you, my first competition, I was dumb and I invited my girl For some reason, her friends at the time was like, "Hey, we're gonna come." I didn't know why they were coming. Still confuses me to this day, because they didn't engage with anyone at all. They were just kind of like off there. I was like, "Why are you here? You're not even like supporting me." Not that I'm mad. Like I don't really care. It's like it's expensive to come out, but it's just like, what was your purpose for coming here? Moving on from that, my point of saying that is like, I spent at least 2 matches in the bottom north-south just with someone's balls in my face in front of my girl and her friends. It was a bad idea to have them come to the first tournament.
So that's my thing. I think if my girl's coming just the way she is and her humor, I'm always fired up because I'm not giving her that ammunition, that bottom north-south control. Like if we're in class, I'll be annoyed that I'm there, or if we're training it, I'll be annoyed that I'm there. But I know that if I ever get caught in a tournament in that position, it's
bro. I've never been there again, but once after that, he didn't put his balls in my face. He had to like lay down. He was trying to do that north-south choke that you taught. He was trying to extend back, so he wasn't like over me like that. He was trying to get to space. I won that tournament, but I was still mad. I was like, I'm here for the last like 4 minutes of the competition. I won because in the beginning of it, I got my hooks in and got 4 points and took the back. He rolls me over. I didn't stabilize the back properly. I flip over and I'm just north-south for the whole rest of the match. And I won gold, but I was like mad. I was like, this is reminiscent of my first tournament. I got to figure this whole out. I could never let this happen again. It was pretty bad.
That's when you got to invert and take their back.
Yeah. And try to hook your foot in that belt. Maybe. Maybe. Yeah.
I get like as far back with my leg as I can, like into this area of their thigh, and like just kind of kick it, like with like no real, like especially in tournaments, no real remorse for whatever bruising. And usually they'll kind of like flop over, or I'll come all the way around, like I'll invert to their back. So that's like my escape for north-south, but it's not a high percentage at all. Not high percentage at all.
I mean, it's tough because they're controlling your head.
Yeah,
it's tough.
What is your favorite choke? Because you've been teaching north-south choking for a few Fridays now. So is that your favorite choke, or?
I like it a lot just because of how technical it is.
Okay.
So, it is really high percentage if you get it down technically right. Like you can get it.
Okay.
How do I explain it? Like an arm bar, for example. There's some setup. There's a lot of I wouldn't say baiting, but you would have to make sure the arm's in a certain place, your hips are in a certain place, your arm bar from close guard. Your leg kicks up high in the armpit, break the posture. With the north-south choke, the setup to get there can be kind of messy.
Okay.
Holding onto the head can be semi-messy. Like you just got to make sure they're looking away from your body.
Mm-hmm.
Now it's the actual like, okay, let's set up the head position, get the arm position in, and squeeze and just kind of hold on. And if everything's technically right,
it's gonna work.
It's gonna work. Yeah.
Okay. Well, yeah. So that's not your favorite submission, though.
No.
Okay, what is it?
Cross collar choke.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's what you got, you.
Yeah. So I hated it for so long because I was always kind of taught, like I wouldn't say taught wrong, but I was taught for a way that works with someone else's body type. Until I believe last Friday, you were pretty much like, dude, just use the lats, pull back. Yeah. But I was always told that was wrong. But I got it the other day on the lollygagger, and then I got the caveman necktie. That one was a little harder fought.
Caveman necktie.
The one we were talking about when you had to from Turtle.
And the setup is kind of like an anaconda setup.
Yeah, you just you have to get more north-south to sink your knee into the crook of the neck and then kind of latch over and then hold it. Or kind of latch over your knee and hold it in order to get it to lock in. And I got that one.
Okay.
To have it done by you would suck.
That's why I want to try. But it's crazy, man, because I try and get Fridays off because I know that's when you teach and that's really the only class I know. But that's the day I have to turn in a lot of paperwork. But there's something about the way that you train that I try and force panic into whoever I'm rolling with. Yeah. Just because I know they're like, oh, I don't want to get smashed. I don't want to get stacked. I can never see if you're panicking. I can never see, like, you're just extremely patient to the point where it annoys me that I'm like, fuck, I got to make the first move. I got to make the first move, and then it's done. It's done. It happened with the first roll when you got me in the cross collar, and then every time you sweat me since then, it's been the same thing. Like
interesting, yeah.
You'll lock me down in a certain way, whether it be through your full guard or through your spider guard or an open guard, and I'll keep like threatening to pressure pass you, and then I'll look and you're just like, go ahead. But it's funny because now I know that's not the case, but I can never tell when you have any kind of like urgency to you.
Usually I try to set myself up to be in a position that if I do mess up, I can recover. If I'm not in that position, that's where I scramble to get back just to that position to keep safe. But it's not like I need to scramble back to full closed guard to be safe. I just need to get some principles down where I know if you try to pass, it's going to be really hard and it's going to be a scramble, but I'm still relatively safe.
Kind of like what I do when I put that knee up when they're trying to arm drag you and take it back from closed guard. It's like, I'm relatively safe for a second. I gotta address this problem real quick, but this blockade helps me for a second.
Yeah. Okay. It changed the game.
There's a guy who's like bigger than you. I remember just being at an open mat, and across the room, I looked at him, and it was one of those things, when you look at someone, you're not looking for a roll, you're just tired, and you just cross eyes with them. Yeah. It was one of those, like I looked and I crossed, and I was like, I gotta go back to this guy because I know no one's rolling with him. And also, although I'm tired, he's a big dude. I need to challenge myself. I gotta test my belt. So, yeah, it was big guys. They're fun, especially DJ size.
Yeah.
So whenever the rare occurrences that I find people bigger than me, I'm like immediately like, don't run, buddy. Like it's me and you. This is what I came here for. But I think like having a big guy in the gym that's willing to drop the ego and kind of allow people is very beneficial. But if a big dude's not willing to do that, I feel like he holds up the whole school. Because then people aren't rolling with him. Then people aren't learning that type of body type. And then because I've been there, I'll say it, like when big dudes can't get like the move, instead of just kind of trying to figure it out and take the embarrassment, they just kind of sit there and don't do anything all class. And then that leaves your training partner not having anything to do or creating a group of three. But that's just my experience.
That makes sense.
Yeah,
it makes sense.
That's kind of the same as what I've had in my experience. It seems like most people on the roll with big guys. I feel like even me, I have issues sometimes getting rolls. It feels like people don't want to roll with me for whatever reason. I take it as like my size. Like I've never seen myself as a big person, like a bigger dude. But I guess from the way I'm described from other people is that I'm a big guy. Like so many times you'll be in a store, hey, what's up, big guy? And I'm like, I'm not that big, dude. I'm kind of little. But I think people see me bigger than I see myself. And I think that even though I don't see myself as big, they see me as big. So it's a little bit like, till they like your friendly thing you do, like, hey, I'm positive, I'm happy. Until they get that energy from me, especially when I'm comp mode, they're like, oh, I'm not rolling with that dude.
Yeah. I have to trick people into rolling with me, make them think I'm like a panda. Like I have to go up to everyone. I'm like, hey man, how's your day going? Yeah. You want to roll? You want to roll? But anytime I'll go into a gym and if I don't feel like talking, it's not gonna be like if I go into a gym too quiet, whether it's a new gym or a gym I've been at, everyone will be like, not today.
Yeah,
not today.
Do you remember the first roll we had together?
I remember two rolls distinctly. I think the first roll we had together was we were doing kind of like a Shark Tank type deal.
Okay.
And I think I had like 2 minutes with you because we had a smaller group. That was the first time I remember rolling.
I don't know if I remember that time. To be honest with you, I don't remember the first time. I just remember rolling with. I remember. What I remember is the first time of seeing DJ and being like, "It's a big dude."
Yeah, that's exactly what I said.
And for a second, I was just there was a second of like, man, I don't want to. Nope, shut up. Go roll with him. Like that's what it was.
So it was crazy because I never got that. I never got that feeling from you. Like,
because I killed that shit right away.
Yeah, like I know. Like at this point, I don't like. There's certain people I'm gonna like work things that I know I'm weak at against them because I know they're kind of like I don't want to roll with him. So if I kind of let them know that I'm trying to learn too, they feel more comfortable. They feel more comfortable in it. But certain people at A side, I've never felt like any sort of like, and like people that I would never expect, like Eli, never. And then I'm
Eli's about that life.
Yeah.
So the crazy thing is, I didn't even know who he was. I didn't even know who he is. Like, I'm terrible with names. So like I rolled with him and then I went about my day. I came back like 2 days later and Armin's like, Eli said he's coming up with a plan for you. And I was like, who? He's like, I don't know. He's like, Eli, he said he's taking you down. I was like, I don't know who that is, but it is what it is. And then the next time I see him and I'm like, oh, you're Eli. I heard you're like working on the plan against me. And he looked at me and he said, yup.
Respect.
Yeah, so I've never like there's a lot of people in the gym I've never felt it from, but there are people that I'm like, all right, I'll stay on my side of the mat, you go over there.
Yeah.
It's fine.
Yeah. No, Eli's a good guy. I like it. I kind of he just got promoted to blue belt.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah, I didn't see that. So congratulations, Eli, if you see this, and then I'm gonna tell you in person next time I see you as well.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. I want to have him on the podcast to talk about, what that transition is like for him. Does he feel anything different? We'll get into it on the podcast, but that's what I was gonna say. I want to have him on the podcast for that reason.
So I have one more. I have another question for you. So like at this point, you said you started jiu-jitsu in like 1990.
Oh, 99 or 2000. Yeah.
Okay. I didn't mean to age you. My bad.
No, it's good.
So you said you started in like 99, 2000. How much have you seen jiu-jitsu like change? Like has the game changed like drastically, or are you just seeing patterns kind of recycle and it's the same stuff? Or are there like a lot of new moves, a lot of new styles coming up?
New moves, new styles for sure. I feel like, and I think the people from the 90s, 2000s may agree. The style was pass the guard, get to side control, and mount, arm bar, and then, close guard, triangle, like pretty straightforward. The leg locks, I'm not saying was like taboo. It just wasn't the thing.
Okay.
Right. It was like, yeah, you can go for leg locks, but nah, pass the guard, man. Yeah, I don't know why that was. Maybe it was like a machismo thing. I don't know.
My theory is that it's kind of like a cheat code. Like if a black belt makes a mistake and their leg gets caught by even a blue belt who knows leg locks, then it's like kind of an equalizer. If that makes, I think that's, you saw that with Nicky Rod, you saw that with Gordon Ryan. Like you just, these little intricacies of if there's a mistake made to someone who knows something, then there's a problem for that black belt. And I feel like that was kind of the issue with leg locks, is like, it's a little bit of a problem. I feel like it was an ego thing.
Yeah, I can't pass their guard.
It's like, oh, you can't pass my guard, so you can't pass my guard, so you're gonna go fall back on this leg. Like, oh no, you need to learn how to pass my guard. Yeah. When you're just really mad that you got leg locked. That's what I was trying to articulate.
Yeah.
Yeah. So my brother talks about it all the time because he hates leg locks, and he says the reason for it being is the practicality of using a heel hook in a self-defense situation is really low. Okay. Especially because like in jiu-jitsu, no one's gonna like punch or kick down at you. No one's gonna try and stomp you. And that's why he's like, I don't really learn leg locks and heel hooks because I don't feel like it's practical for what I use it for. But I agree, but I disagree at the same time because I've seen some people get that shit off so quick to where it's like,
yeah.
I mean, you can totally do it. I mean, like, to each their own, I guess. Yeah. Like, if you don't want to do it, you don't have to do it. But it's good to be aware of it and good to be, have that submission thrown at you so you can experience it.
Yeah.
You know, you don't want to be left in the dust of like, I don't know what that is. You know?
Yeah, personally, I like them. That's another reason that I was like, I'm gonna stay at A side, because I think for like the first week I was there, I seen everybody in there hitting heel hooks, and if they didn't hit them, they were trying them on me. So I was like, I need to stay here. I need to stay here. And then we did like a 3-month course, like April, May, and June, of just leg locks. And then I was like, I'm sick of this.
Yeah,
my knee is sore. I want to go home. You know, but that's just what comes with it.
Speaking of going home, we are running out of time here, and we got to wrap this up. Do we have any final major questions we want to ask that you have?
No questions, man. I just want to let you know, I really do enjoy like whenever you're teaching class. Like
Cool.
You're a great professor. You break things down. You take time for everybody, and I enjoy whenever I can make your classes.
Yeah, good.
I'm gonna second that, and honestly, it's one of the only reasons why I come to Friday classes is because of your classes. Like, just so you know, and that's not for the cameras. That's 100% for you and me, sir.
Cool, thank you. Yeah, no, I'm glad. Like that's validating that at least what's being taught is like one, enjoyable, and then second, hopefully is like retaining.
Yeah, I'm glad I could be a source of validation for you. I think we all deserve our flowers at the end of the day, and it's. For me, I would like if people gave me my flowers more so I could have a better gauging of where people saw me, if that makes sense. But that's my own personal insecurities. We'll talk about it.
Yeah.
Right, but cool. Thank you for coming out, man. Really appreciate it. Do you have anything you want to say before you sign off?
No, thank you for this. I hope it...
Get to Friday classes, bro.
Get to Friday classes.
Yes, if you're an A-side student, make it to Friday classes. And if you're not, that's your asses.
The alcohol can wait till like what class ends at 7. The alcohol can wait.
The bar next door like just opened up.
There's a bar
at 7. Yeah,
there's a bar next door.
6 to 7, and Albert's really cool because he like lets us have like a little slight open mat afterwards, like 15-30 minutes of just trying to figure our stuff out. So it's a good class to get in there and explore and figure some things out for your game.
Oh yeah,
sounds good.
All right, so we gonna wrap this up. As always, thank you for tapping in. We tapping out now. Please like, subscribe, share, all the fun stuff. We love the support. Thank you for your comments. They have been entertaining, and we'll get you on the next one.
Yes, sir.
All right. Stay blessed, y'all.